And welcome back. There was a time when getting to know someone, dating, was done, well, very much offline in cafes and bars and that sort of thing. Well, today we're going to meet the creative talent behind a new musical, OMFG, the Internet Dating Musical. Chris Winslow, welcome.
Hi.
So now, of course, we can't say the F word on TV, but OMFG, we all kind of know what it means.
That's right.
And you know, I think that a lot when I see friends and whatnot online meeting people and they show me their ads, and that's a lot of information out there.
It is a lot of information, and sometimes you wonder how much of it is true.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I met my husband online 13 years ago, but then it was like, you know, a piece of telephone cord and two paper cups. I mean,
Right.
it was very kind of old-fashioned.
And it was just
sweet.
a wink, right?
Yeah, it was like we actually wrote. We got to know each other because we wrote. It was like
Right.
writing letters, but cyberly. And now I have friends who meet their partners and, you know, play buddies online, and I'm stunned at the lack of privacy online.
You're right.
So, did you base this on personal experience?
A little bit, but not so much. My writing partner has more experience in this field of, meeting people online. He would have these very elaborate writing relationships with them, and then eventually meet them. Oftentimes, it would be a disaster.
And of course, now would they share a real picture? When what is the protocol of internet dating nowadays? And I guess we have to listen to the musical to learn about it.
Well, you know, you hope that whoever posts the picture, it's a real picture and not just photoshopped, you know, and it really does show their face.
Or whatever.
Or whatever. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I had a friend who actually met someone online and got all excited and flew down to Southern California to meet this person, and got there and he realized the person had posted all his photos was like shot through gauze or something. I mean, at some point you've got to put the pedal to the metal.
I hear stories about that all the time, you know, that people just take the craziest pictures and think that,
yeah,
you know.
So have you ever met anyone online? I know you've been a married boy for 12 years
I have
now.
met some people online.
And did they lie?
A few, yes. And it's kind of an awkward situation. What do? You know? How do you get out of it? You just have that coffee and say, nice to meet you.
Yeah. Let's talk about OMFG, the Internet Dating Musical. The idea came to you not from a failed internet date room, but you were actually in the East Bay, in Berkeley, when the idea came to you, correct?
Right, right. I was at a cafe near the university and walked in just to have a cup of coffee and looked around, and just every single person in the space had a computer opened. Not a single person was talking. In fact, they all had, you know, their little iPods on, and they were all just doing this the whole time. And I just thought, wow, this is where we are today.
And how long ago was this?
Oh, several years ago.
I see people biking and grinding at the same time. Like, that's dangerous.
That's really dangerous. Yeah, without a helmet too.
Without it, against the law too.
Yeah, I've seen that grinder thing.
Do you think we're becoming too impersonal with the way we meet people nowadays? And I'm speaking just about, you know, gay men, lesbians, members of the bisexual and transgender community.
I think maybe. I think that there's a lot lost by, you know, when you sit with someone, you just get so much, the subtlety is there, and we just lose that with a picture online. So yeah.
So tell me, how'd you do the research for this? You got the idea, but you didn't meet your partner online.
Right.
So where did you learn the content of OMFG?
So
the Internet
we would, you know, I would
musical?
talk to friends and hear about their experiences, and also with Gavin, my playwright. And you know, we have a bunch of songs we'd written and played around with, and we started to see how these songs might fit in and create this story, this world, this fantasy world that we tell at OMFG.
So who are some of the characters? What is the plot?
So it's a girl and a guy who are...
So it's not a gay show?
It's not a gay show. No, but it could be in future. Girl and guy, mid-40s, midlife crisis. They've had some relationships that really kind of just didn't work out. They decide to try this online dating thing, see how it goes. And they meet each other, are instantly enthralled, like, oh, wow, you're just perfect. Which, of course...
Because of the picture or because of what they were saying to each other?
Both, you know, because the picture was a little vague, and so they could fill in the blanks. You know, and when they filled in their profile information, of course, they would type in a certain age and then backslash it and change it to, you know, Well, I'm not really that old yet.
Yeah, I resent the whole thing about 40s midlife crisis, but we won't.
Well,
go there.
I'm right there. I mean, it is the story of my life.
Yeah, I'm hoping to live to be 120, so I'm waiting for midlife till 60.
I'm hoping to. Yeah. And so, what happens is when they start to interact, they start to realize, well, if I let this other person know who I really am, well, they're going to think I'm just a loser. And so they start to conjure up these little fantasies, little lies that just start to escalate and creates all kinds of chaos.
Now, you've got a guy and a girl in your musical. So, gay composer, playwright, straight boy or gay boy?
Gay boy.
So what does a gay creative team have to teach our heterosexual brothers and sisters about the pitfalls of internet dating? I mean, OMFG.
Right. To try to be just honest and, and not be scared to go out, meet some people in real time.
So do you think it's the same or different between straight people looking to find love or lust online and our LGBT brothers and
Well,
sisters?
I think it might be a little different. I think that gay men have been really doing a lot more of this from an earlier time.
And why do you think that is? I mean, I've had people on the show, and my husband is an internet, he likes to say a geek, but I mean, he's a computer guy. So he's been into computers for 20 years. And it seems like gay men just are nowadays born with a smartphone attached to their ear and a mouse to one hand. It's been that way for 15 years now.
Right. Well, I think that a lot of times people are looking for a hookup too. And
do you deal with that in this musical as far as straight couples? I mean, this man and this woman are looking for love or lust?
They're looking for love. They're really looking for love, and maybe to get laid. Yeah.
And so, do they end up having a little bit of each?
Sort of. A little bit, yeah.
And do you think it is just that, I mean, you say that your characters are in that age, in their 40s, they've tried everything else, they're frustrated, they can't find love. Is that the generation that you found through your research doing this musical and with your playwright that are most interested in online dating, or is it a youngling sort of thing?
I think it's all ages now, but I was interested in that age because there's just a certain vulnerability that they had to deal with, because they weren't the best looking person, and they feel a little scared to put themselves out there.
Do you think that if there had been an internet when you and your partner were dating, that you would have gone online to find love?
Maybe. Maybe. We actually met south of Market. And,
But do you ever talk about it, how different it is? And we've talked about it, my husband and I, about even 12 years ago, what was online dating is very different from now. I mean, then it was kind of quaint, and now it's almost X-rated.
I remember a time when it was like, Men for Men at AOL sort of thing.
23 people in one chat room.
Yeah, you would go into these.
So of course in San
rooms.
Francisco there was Men for Men 1, 2, 3, 17. I mean,
that's right. Yeah. And you would log into a chat room and start to chat.
Yeah.
I do remember when I first experienced it. I would make up things.
Shocking.
Little fantasies about things that might be fun to do or.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine when actually it was around the time that I met Alfredo online, and he was curious and an older gentleman, and he said, "Wow," he said, "Well, how do you know this person is telling the truth?" I said, "Oh, people lie all the time." I said, "Let's make up somebody." So we made up somebody, a kid, and put together his profile and put it out there. Within 10 minutes, all these offers for dates were coming in. I said, "This is really scary." So we had to kill him. I mean, it was.
Oh, how did you kill him?
We just said he moved. I mean, it was just because then some people we knew were writing in and trying to get a date with this fictitious person, and boy, it was an interesting window. I mean, all kidding aside, this musical is dealing with a really serious issue. How do people find love in the age of Facebook and YouTube when there is no privacy?
Right.
I mean, in talking to the people that you dealt with, and the playwright, the people that he spoke with, putting this musical together, did he find people were dealing with privacy issues in a different way when they meet someone online versus going for a date at a coffee shop in Berkeley?
Right. I think, yeah. I mean, you really have to be careful about what you put out there because once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah,
right?
ask
Anthony Weiner. I mean, yeah, there you go. So
what was he thinking?
Yeah, it's interesting because, in the day when we used to meet at a bar, you know, buy someone a drink, and you know, that initial conversation, it just kind of sets things up. Whereas, you know, we just don't have that. And I think people need to be more aware of what they put up. And you find that the younger generations, they just don't care.
No,
they just put it all out there.
Right.
Whereas I know that, you know, like my father, you know, he has a Facebook thing, but no picture.
Right. So
No
it's a
picture.
faceless book.
That's
Yeah, there's Facebook and there's faceless.
the little blue head
Yeah,
with
the
no
little
eyes.
blue head.
Right.
In our last few months, talk a little bit about your music. What gives you inspiration to sit down to the piano and come up with a song?
Some great lyrics, an idea of the style that I'm going for.
Right.
You know, a reggae number.
And we can see this at ODC Theater in San Francisco starting July?
Today, July 8th.
Great, we'll see it then. We've been speaking with Chris Winslow, and we hope that you will tune in next week to see 10%. I'm your host, David Perry. Thanks for watching.